Welcome back, everybody. We are at it here on the Now Morning Show, and we jump right into this one. Well, that song you heard in the background has a tie into my guest who is in studio right now. But we'll talk about that in a little bit because the bigger topic, it's development for the Tunapuna Piarco region, and we are staying on track with that. Good morning, Alderman Kwesi Robinson.
Hi, good morning, Carrie. Good morning, to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Rokas, Lisa, and everyone here. The cameraman, many of the people in this room I know from my previous profession, which would have been music production.
Right, and you know, you're just telling us, you're just joking offset there that, you know, like, you're like Forrest Gump. You've done everything in life.
At 33 years and more into the serious business. I'm now the chairman of the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation, and we know that during COVID and the economic situation, we have had to make tough decisions in order to build the region and the country. And one such decision happened last week, where we decided as a council, and it was voted on to increase some of the rates, including food badges and building plans. And some of the members of council who belong to the opposition have come out and said, no, it's heartless for me to do this and that kind of stuff. But that is not so. You know, it's really about just doing what's best for the region.
And well, the man on the ground, you know, the everyday man who would, you know, seek to do these things, and the rates at which have been increased now, what has their reaction been? What has the feedback been like from the residents of the area?
Most of the residents who come to the corporation, a lot of them seek support, seek assistance, and they understand that only through making the corporation more sustainable can we give them that level of assistance. So, for example, our December's financial statement, the government gave us $13.1 million subvention.
Right.
We would have generated $88,000 in revenue.
Right.
So the least revenue we generate is the more difficult it is for us to operate, because of that $13 million, 75% is salaries.
Okay.
The next 25% is solid waste management. So you have a situation where I'm unable to support that man on the ground if I don't increase revenue. And if you're making $88,000 and you're spending 13, the man on the ground surely understands to make 88,000 and spend 13 million is not sustainable.
Right, you're
in the long run or even the short run.
Yeah, that's right, and it was that's a huge difference in you know, that gap there between the expenditure and what is coming in.
Yes, I mean, this would have happened over time. It's not, but we can't fix it today.
Yeah, it's not an overnight.
A food badge went up from $40 to $100. Okay. So, and that's a yearly figure, and some of the other fees are one-off. So the building plan for apartment complexes went up from $2,500 to $3,500, so a $1,000 increase, but as a one-time expense. Right. So we use that revenue. So last quarter's revenue, which would have been $200,000, it sounds ridiculous to say that the corporation is only generating $200,000 or $1,000 in revenue for the entire last quarter. But that money was spent on, we approved 10 reconstruction of homes, 1,000 hampers, some water tanks. We fixed our equipment. So while the money is small, it means a lot to that man on the ground, that burgess who we're going to give tablets, we're going to give, repair their homes, we're going to give them water tanks. So the corporation has to do something in order to deliver more, because people depend on us more right now.
Of course, you know, and everything takes money these days. Nothing comes cheap. So what are the future plans now? Let's look to the future in which you plan to generate more income for the regional corporation.
So one of the projects that is very dear to me, which is the Etihad vending project, it solved two problems, which is the roadside vending. So we moved the roadside vendors from opposite the church, put them into the Etihad Savannah. I don't know if, have you ever been?
Yes, I've been.
Right, so that was my project I started when I was the local economic development officer of the corporation. So we're looking to replicate that through different constituencies throughout the regional corporation. There's some requests in Lopino, Borneo, in St. Augustine, in La Hocata, in Arima. So when we do that now, we're trying to solve problems 2 or 3 at a time, because it takes very long to get some of these things going. So that's one. I mean, and in terms of really serving the burgesses more, we resolved last week to also attack vacant lots. So if you know your neighbor not cutting a lot, they went away, they're unable to cut it, and the corporation has set up the teams now. We always had the ability to do it.
Right.
We're just going to do it now.
Right.
Like the morning show. Yeah. So we're going to start cutting vacant lots and pursuing through the magistrate court to recoup that money. And we're also going to attack roadside garages. So there are some instances like in St. Joseph where I know a particular Calypso Monarch cannot come out his house. And that has been going on for 13 years. And the mechanic shop works from 4 in the morning straight till 1 the next morning, linemen cussing. And these roadside garages park all along with these derelict vehicles. People will come back for the vehicle. So it's our burgesses are suffering for some basic things. We have to have the resources to treat with it. So as a corporation, while we want to increase revenue, we also want to increase service delivery.
And the service delivery is what, the man on the ground really needs, and as you're speaking of earlier, you have provided hampers and things like that. But what are some of the other ways in which the corporation supports the residents?
So besides those humanitarian aid, we also try to empower the stakeholders. So we have started meeting with the village councils last year because we want to re-engage that type of civic responsibility throughout the region, because we cannot do it all on our own. My region spans from Blanchard Shares to Monroe Road. So I have a repo. I have 9 constituencies, and 250,000 burgesses live there, and then we have a transient population from Mount Hope, the airport. So really about engaging those stakeholders, making sure they understand that they are part of us, and to find those solutions together. So we're really about serving them hand in hand. One of these such programs we're going to do is we're going to start giving equipment to these village councils, so that they maintain their own communities, and we have that level of support from them, and we support them that way.
Wonderful. And are there any other major plans when it comes to development, infrastructure, that is carded for the near future?
The thing with the regional corporation, the local, and what is important to the man on the ground, the major development is not what's important to him. So, for example, there was a wall that fell during the flood in Aruka there. We're about to repair that. So that it's not major for the country, but to my burgesses, it's important.
Of course.
We're going to do some patching in the Maracas Valley area. The burgesses know themselves. So it's simple things. Your neighbor, grass growing over here, it's not major for the region, but those simple things that impact the man on the ground is what we are focused on at the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation.
And to help, the community, the direct
it's about the man on the ground.
Yeah, and they could see, that they are being supported as well. But not everybody knows that. So how can individuals get more information and know what they can seek their regional corporation to address?
So we are on Facebook, Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation on Facebook, and then there's my personal page, which is Alderman Kwesi Robinson, the chairman of the corporation. So, I mean, we're doing a lot of things, but it's small things, but it's important to the man on the ground, and that's what we want to focus on, the little things that make it, that add, and that's all it's about.
Do you believe in your time in office that you'd be able to really close that gap between the expenditure versus the income that's being made by the regional corporation?
Yes, that's the goal.
Because it's huge.
Yeah, that's the goal. So we will be well on our way, and we are looking to do some advertising on some of the recreation grounds to do things that would jump that exponentially. But we have to start with the small things, collecting, making sure that the cost for the food badge is at least met.
Right. So
that we have, we're not trying to, it's a cost-centered approach. So we're not fighting to buy the printer ink to print the food badge. That is a sustainable program on its own. Emptiness estimate is one such thing too.
Right.
The market rate is 800. We have moved from 400 to 600, so we still below the market rate. But at least now I could service the 2 trucks.
Wonderful, wonderful. And as they say, drip by drip fills the bucket.
Of course.
All right. Well, Alderman Kwesi Robinson, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the work that you've done so far, and continue supporting your community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a short break and come back with much more right here on the Now Morning Show. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
Where I'm from, there ain't no sorry. No excuse me, beg.